diplomatic visa? You got to be kidding me. Envoys haven't needed diplomatic visas since the Colony War.
The law is the law.
You will be scanned as you enter the city. Please keep moving. Okay, no bounty. You're clear. Enjoy your visit.
I'm just here for the paycheck.
Check. Rifle? Already stowed.
The well's been having brownouts
Ship
all
and
the
generator?
time. Mast finally
Waiting in the
sent someone
cargo
down
hold.
there, but nothing's changed.
Don't be nervous. You got this.
Easy for you to say, top of the class.
Infinity is huge. Like, staggeringly huge. They need people like you. Even with your grades.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Wow. You look completely different. I missed our Bobby so much. We barely got out of that base with our lives.
Hiring the best and brightest of today for our future tomorrow. Submit your application now at the nearest kiosk.
This space is a memorial to those lost during the Colony War. Your consideration is requested.
That's because in Ambassador Radcliffe's head, the Free Star Collective and the UC are still fighting the colony war. We just need to...
Captain, everyone will be in the library, just inside. If Barrett were here, he'd probably tell you that you're part of something bigger now, and he hopes you'll make this place your home.
No, please. Ridiculous. Easiest bet I'll ever win.
You really think what I'm suggesting is so outlandish? All the phenomena we see out in the stars, and what I'm saying is the most impossible theory?
You two keep going on like this, and I'm banning wages. I'm serious.
Play nice. Just a good and friendly conversation, Sarah. That's...
We appear to have a visitor.
Welcome to Constellation. We have a lot to talk about. Would you care to tell us what happened to our friend? Why you're here and he isn't? Very well. This is a private organization dedicated to exploration. Space primarily, but also anomalies throughout the settled systems. It's inherently dangerous work, so if one of our own doesn't show up as planned, then we tend to have questions. Speaking of which, where is Barrett? Sarah Morgan, Chair of Constellation. That means anything you discussed with Barrett is my business. Now, if you would please answer my question. I see. Vasco, verify.
All statements made have been factual.
This is just typical. Barrett hands over our ship and our robot to some random employee of that discount mining outfit he uses.
Walter.
And if we hadn't insisted on installing those emergency protocols, I guarantee you this rock breaker here would be halfway to Neon.
But that didn't happen. She's here, with the artifact.
Thank you, Matteo. Now, let's focus on what's in front of us, shall we? What happened when it was extracted? Did anyone see anything? Hear anything? We think it's anyone else who pulls one out of the rock for the first time. Why? We're not sure yet. So if you wouldn't mind adding another data point. Interesting. Similar to Barrett's description of the experience, with less embellishment.
Are you hearing this? Do you all believe me now?
Whether it happened or not wasn't in doubt. But honestly, Country, you expect us to believe in fairy tales?
If this is the greatest mystery in the universe, why couldn't it be part of the ultimate mystery?
But gentlemen, can we please focus? Noelle, I think it's time we tested your theory.
Right. Let's see. We know the artifacts react to each other. The pieces we already have move when they're in close contact. Now, if we add this new one to the two we already have...
The artifact. If you could place it on the table here.
That's it. Just like the others.
And to imagine, we thought there were only 2 of them at first.
Oh my god, that's it. They're reacting. Look at how it's coming together. That energy that's arcing between them, no manufactured material in the settled systems can do that. None of them. This proves
Easy, girl. Breathe. You'll have a heart attack.
She's not the only one. If they're coming together, that means there's a set.
Built by an intelligence outside the settled systems.
Still 2,000 credits for our little wager, Country?
You're on, Walter.
Well, if we had all the answers, it wouldn't be exciting, now would it?
Not to take away from the moment, but what are we going to do about our new friend?
So, are you ready to get to work? See if exploration is the life you want to lead in this little universe of ours? We're all here because we're committed to exploring space. Humanity may have settled the stars, but that doesn't mean we should stop diving into the unknown. Beyond that, you'll be expected to use your own judgment, just like the rest of us. Individually, they're just odd hunks of metal, another oddity from the uncharted reaches of space. As to what they are, what they're building, well, you'll be part of solving that puzzle now. You should take some time to get settled in. Introduce yourself to everyone. Some of our members aren't here, but you'll meet them soon. Come find me when you're ready. You and I are going to be doing some traveling together. Get your feet wet. And here, I think you've earned something for bringing the artifact to us. In addition to credits, why don't we set you up with a backpack with some boost capability? You'll need it out in the field anyway. Just mind your head.
As much as I love uncovering new questions, I wouldn't mind a few answers now and then. That was intense, wasn't it? The artifacts, I mean. Sorry, this must all be a little overwhelming for you right now. I guess a lot overwhelming, now that I think about it. I'm Noelle. It's really nice to meet you. And thank you for bringing the artifact to us. Well, Constellation's been around forever, more than 50 years now. But we only became aware of the artifacts recently. Barrett discovered the first one about 2 years ago, right under our noses. And he was the one who got this all in motion. It's a shame he isn't here to see this. Oh, right, that. If we're approaching this rationally, I suppose we'd call them visual and auditory hallucinations. What you perceived as lights and music could be overloaded neural input, your brain's attempt to make sense of something, an energy surge, some other phenomenon. Unfortunately, that's what a lot of people report in these situations. I'm not saying you didn't really see anything, just that it's really hard to determine after the fact. That's okay. Now that this has happened to both you and Barrett, we can know to maybe expect it in the future. Be a little more prepared. We're all in this together now, right? Of course, there's plenty of planets out there that no one has ever set foot on, and everything we learn about them is valuable. We have a board where we post anything specific we're looking for. A type of alien flora or fauna, or a planet with a specific quality, like if it's primed to have life but doesn't yet. Oh gosh, no, I mean that's flattering, but really, we're making this up as we go. Until you arrived, we only had the two, and the vaguest sense that there was something more at work. There's still so much we don't know, and that means a lot of work ahead of us. Well, right now nothing's off the table. Metallurgical analysis, chemical composition, I'm looking at everything. One thing I'm really trying to improve is my overall database of xenobiology. I don't know if it will help in this case, but the more we know about, well, everything, the better off we are, right? Speaking of, if you're gonna be out there looking for more artifacts, you're bound to come across some interesting specimens. Anything organic, I'd be happy to take it off your hands. I can't be certain that they will, but more data points are always a good thing. I don't want to rule out anything that could provide a breakthrough. And if it sweetens the deal, I can pay. Pretty well, too. Walter's pockets may not be bottomless, but they are pretty deep. Okay, let's take a look. Planning on sticking around then? Good. I think we can find a spot for you. And along the way, I can give you the very abbreviated tour.
Have you talked to Vladimir recently? Face to face, I mean?
Huh. Guess it's been a while. Why?
Oh, I just don't know how he does it. Up there all alone for so long.
Some people love that kind of space. Pun intended.
Well, I suppose that station in orbit.
Are you doing okay? I'm not sure anyone really asked yet. Don't want you to think we're focused on the artifacts and nothing else. You matter too. You've done something really significant bringing that artifact here. I'm Mateo, theological scholar by trade, but now, well, an explorer. Well, there was some overlap in interests. I'd spent years searching for religious relics from human history. I had made a really incredible discovery, only to lose it to a greedy corporation. So I tried to steal it back. In the process, I met Walter. After a long talk, we realized we had a lot in common.
And we're making good progress.
I'm not gonna lie, I really wish I could have seen this for myself. It's hard to judge otherwise. Both you and Barrett saw something. I don't think that's a coincidence. Did it feel like it was trying to tell you something? I don't want to necessarily use the words divine revelation. That sure lines up with everything else about these artifacts. It's all connected. We're gonna get to the bottom of this. We just need more data.
Second one was on Kazal, buried the same as the one you found.
But the first one, right under our noses for years, sitting in storage, masquerading as an oversized paperweight. Can you imagine potentially the greatest discovery in human...
Take care of yourself.
Sarah's the best possible person to be running Constellation at a time like this. Focused, no nonsense, and dedicated. Well, I suppose calling you a rock breaker may have been a bit out of line.
Constellation living up to your expectations.
Yes, ma'am, of course. I honestly can't imagine being anywhere else.
Still doesn't excuse it. My frustrations lie more with Barrett. Not the first time his shenanigans have jeopardized one of our ventures. Not fair of me to take it out on you, especially since it would seem he made the right call this time. So, let's start over, shall we? Walter Stroud, CEO of Stroud Eklund, member of Constellation, and oft-times grumpy old man. Welcome aboard. By the way, in addition to a place to stay, the Lodge has a wealth of modification and research equipment. Spacesuit customization, pharmaceutical manufacturing, testing alien substances, the whole thing. You can even fashion industrial pieces for large-scale projects, if you don't mind extracting a few raw resources from a nearby planet, that is. I'm a fan of self-reliance, so I encourage you to make use of the tools we have. Me? Why, I'm the wallet. Someone has to fund all this, and all my success in business doesn't mean much. I don't pretend to have the daring of Ms. Morgan, or the smarts of young Mateo. But, and as you've now seen, those resources aren't being... Funny thing about companies, you build one sturdy enough, it doesn't... Stroud Eklund functions quite well on a day-to-day basis, leaving me time to... For years, I was captivated by the writings of... I finally decided to do something more than admire from a distance, and so now... Up until very recently, I'd likely have dismissed it as... I don't know. But now... I don't suppose you have a history of this sort of thing, do you? Not exactly, no. But I suppose it doesn't matter. You saw something. I'm no scientist. I leave that to the likes of Barrett and young Noel there. But frankly, this is the most exciting thing that's happened. We're most well known for ship manufacture. No expense spared. If you want the best and can afford it, you choose. Unfortunately, our success means you'll sometimes see Stroud Eklund ship modules on less than I've tried to convince the United Colonies we can help in that regard, but they're married. Remember, you're representing all of us out there.
What can I help you with? So, are you ready to get to work? Or was there something else? I don't know what you've heard, but I can imagine. First of all, I think you can dismiss any stories about us no longer existing. I don't believe in smearing our name everywhere we can. Exploring the universe, charting the unknown, that's what counts. Besides, having a little mystery gives us room to maneuver. A fixed reputation could fence us in a lot of ways. Not much, but you've seen them for yourself. It doesn't take a lot to realize we're dealing with something extraordinary. Just what that is, we'll have to figure out. It's what we do. We're explorers. Humanity has always hunted for knowledge in the unknown. We just take that a little more seriously. We were founded decades ago by a man named Sebastian Banks. He wanted a small group of people from all corners of the settled systems, dedicated to the biggest quest. These artifacts could be We're going to be doing some old-fashioned detective work. The artifacts are relatively inert once they're out of bedrock. That means people can pass them around, not even knowing what they are. I've been letting my contacts know to be on the lookout for strange metal objects. Get back a lot of noise, usually. But a tip from the UC Vanguard sounds promising. A volunteer force that helps defend the edges of United Colonies space. They're always looking for recruits. Lots of retired veterans and dangerous professionals mixed in with part-timers who barely have a laser cannon welded to a hull. My contact is in the recruiting office, so he hears a lot about what the volunteers are up to. We have to assume that we're not the only ones to have stumbled into this mystery. But most people aren't going into space looking for the unknown. They're looking for places to settle, resources to extract, territory to defend. An odd-looking rock or a single strange hunk of metal wouldn't mean much to them. That's why Constellation exists, in a way, to put pieces like this together. Jumping to anthropology on me already? Oh, well, good. We all need our own reasons to be out there. But it's not just that. I want to take this opportunity to see how you handle yourself, and for you to learn more about us. I'm going to be sticking with you for this. We'll be traveling together until we either find an artifact or this lead runs dry. You mean besides the ship, the robot, and a place to stay all rent-free? We do have some funds we can disperse from time to time. Not to mention, I think we can get you a proper suit. We're explorers. We keep a lot of equipment on hand for that purpose. So the more you work with us, the more we can share what we have. Go ahead. Just don't take too long or my contact's information might go bad.
Ever since I got here, this has felt like home. These people are family. I hope it feels that way for you too. Stay safe, okay?
I hope you are satisfied with the quarters available to you. I am at your service, Captain.
I've occasionally had my doubts about Constellation as an investment. But now, well, it's clearly money well spent.
I am at your service, Captain.
Can I help? Ready to head out there? Or did you still need time on your own? We'll need to head to Mast. Check in with the Vanguard recruiting office where my contact works. And listen, whatever you were before, or whatever you do once you're out there, I don't care. So long as you don't bring UC security to our doorstep. Every member of Constellation is their own conscience. Understood? I mean, Constellation has a roster of members who haven't always been on the right side of their respective society. We're risk-takers. Some of us have seen the inside of a jail cell more than once. If you join us, it means you're committed to our mission. In exchange, we give you latitude in your choice of means. Good. Let's take a little stroll through New Atlantis, shall we?
I hope you are satisfied with the quarters available to you, Captain. Now that you are a member of Constellation, I am at your service. No additional protocols necessary. Also, given the likelihood that you will be out in unsettled space, it might be beneficial to go over exploration outpost development, in case you ever need to build a base for field research. The exploration of an unknown planet can be a major undertaking. By building an outpost, you will be able to construct scanning equipment, resource extractors, and defenses. It is even possible to set up multiple outposts capable of manufacturing, allowing you to build advanced equipment. A planetary scan will reveal the presence of key inorganic resources, although rarer elements will be harder to find without training. And while a scan may detect the presence of life on a planet, you will have to analyze the native plants and animals yourself to know what compounds they produce. The scan booster is the most obvious, as it will enable you to detect landmarks and other points of interest from further away. Beyond that, extractors will allow you to collect raw materials of various types, while a particularly prosperous outpost may even warrant the construction of The blueprints you need to construct an outpost should already be on your watch. It will automatically connect to any available materials for construction in your ship's cargo. Captain, I will proceed to my assigned post.
I think you need to get rid of some of that gear. We need to talk to John Tuala in Mast. I'd be happy to carry a few things for you. Sure, go ahead. You mean apart from being the chair of Constellation for the past 5 years? Well, let's see. I pride myself with my aptitude for astrodynamics, calculating optimal trajectory. And as far as planetary exploration, my area of expertise is botany. Exploration is my entire life. I consider it both a... That being said, I will make a confession, but you have to promise to keep it between us. Before I graduated from school, I was in a band, and we called ourselves Ironic Comet. A ridiculous name. And before you ask, no, I wasn't the lead singer. I actually played. The band never really went anywhere, of course, but those were good times. My parents considered themselves to be enlightened, but their lives were so busy they rarely... By the time I was old enough to start questioning these things, the idea of following any organized religion was almost an afterthought. It's not that I don't want to believe in anything, it's that my scientific mind is often at odds with my spiritual center. Having been out there, in the Starfield, seeing all those magnificent wonders with my own eyes, I need answers. I'm sorry if that disappoints you, but don't worry. While we're on this journey together, I fully intend to respect your religious beliefs. Oh, okay then. Goodbye.
Captain, do you require my assistance? Captain, greetings. I believe this is a process known as small talk. It is not my... I will answer your questions truthfully. Unlike you, I am in... Constellation recovered me from an abandoned lunar robotics factory on... I am told I was in quite a state of disrepair. Barrett elected to refurbish me after the discovery. Since then, I have been reprogrammed to be... Some data from my time on Earth's moon remains deep in my motherboard. Very little of what is in those files would prove useful to mod... That is correct. I am a first-generation Model A robot. As such, I was... Constellation named me after the Portuguese explorer Vasco da Gama, who resided on Earth in the 15th century AD. Barrett tells me he was quite an accomplished explorer. I am inclined to believe it, as that is a... Constellation is an exceptionally driven and intelligent... You may ask me any... That is a difficult question to parse. However, I have been kept busy since Constellation. In a geographical sense, the Lodge cannot be missed. It is easily but I presume that you are using miss in this context to mean Barrett, however. I have not taken your questions anywhere, Captain. Your vital signs indicate that you were not amused by this attempt at humor. Constellation has seen to it that I possess a near-encyclopedic knowledge of human history. I have been programmed to comprehend all modern and ancient human language. My body is crafted from reinforced metal, and therefore, logically, I believe the correct answer to be the airplane, followed shortly by the computer. Illogically speaking, I am inclined to believe that books were your greatest invention. They make good case studies in it. This is a difficult question to parse. I do not experience enjoyment. However, I find that the music of ancient Japan has a pleasantly mathematical sound. The same is true of the works of European composers from the Baroque period. I have dedicated significant time to processing these compositions and understanding their structure. Travel safely.
You see that scientist out in front of Mast? Staring at trees, sounds upset. Whatever it is, it can't be that bad, right?
No, I'm not feeling that bad.
Colonies to the best of your abilities, and to uphold the values of the Vanguard.
Welcome to Mast. If you have an appointment, you may proceed inside. Yes? You needed something? This is Mast, the beating heart of the United Colonies. Every decision made in the civilized galaxy takes place inside these walls. Most of Mast's employees have extensive training in their specific but if you're interested in joining the UC, Commander Tuala of the Vanguard is just on the far side of the room. I'm one of Mast's resource officers. It's my job to ensure those here on official business get where they're going promptly, and that any rule breaking is dealt with swiftly. Take care now.
Sarah, good to see you. Another space explorer. Hey, you ever think of joining up with the Vanguard? Help the United Colonies, earn some credits, even get your UC citizenship? United Colonies volunteer fleet. Independent captains enlist, get to use their own ships, and the UC provides them with sustained work and credits. And put in your time, and you're guaranteed UC citizenship and everything that comes with it. Discounts on UC goods and medical services, chance to own a place in New Atlantis. Only way a foreign captain could even dream of seeing those sorts of benefits. So, you want in? Excellent. Just need to do a little paperwork. An orientation on the UC, a knock out an exam, and a probationary mission. We need... Do well. You'll be out there keeping the...
Don't forget, John. I need her back after you wrap her in that fancy get-up of yours.
No worries, Sarah. I'm not forgetting about you or our little business afterwards. Promise. First things first, head down to the orientation hall and get signed up at the registration terminal. System will walk you through the rest. Oh, if you got a bounty? Well, you're gonna have to make things right with the UC before we'll let you join. What can I do for you, applicant? Military used to have a pretty narrow view of where the best pilots came from. In their eyes, it was UC or bust. The creation of the Vanguard was an acknowledgement by the brass that maybe not all the galaxy's greatest pilots went through a UC flight school. So it's the Vanguard's job to find them and get them to fly for us. Right. Got so wound up bringing you on board, I almost forgot.
Oh, I haven't. Come on, John. Let's hear it before you try to convince her to join the Marines.
All right. Here's what I've got. Vanguard volunteer by the name of Moira. Helps patrol the old neighborhood. Sol, Mars, Neptune, you know.
The Sol system? Which admiral did he upset to get that posting?
He's Martian, born and raised. Not like I can get anyone else to care. Word is he's got some fancy metal ornament he's been showing off to the old grounders. Matches that description Sarah gave me. Oh, he goes way back. Think he was recruit number 81 or something. You kidding? Lowest posting request rate in the whole fleet. Only thing there the UC cares about is Mars. And no one wants to go to Mars. They want to get off Mars. Sol system is a lot of planets, but a vet like Moira will be checking in at Sidonia on the regular.
You mean hitting the bars, don't you, John?
Hey, nothing wrong with a little refresh between patrols. Yeah, bring a coloring book. You get so used to seeing red, you'll forget what blues and greens look like. You'll have to ask him, but Vanguard volunteers have retrieval rights if they get into a scrap. Wouldn't be surprised if he found it off of a pirate or something like that. Anything for Sarah. UC always takes care of its own. Even the prodigal children.
Oh, brother.
Look, you didn't hear it from me, but I got the tip there's a way to hack the Vanguard exam. It is something stored.
In 2150, humanity learned the Earth's magnetosphere would collapse sometime in the next half-century, eliminating all life on the planet. Decisive action was required, but the secure transport of an entire civilization would demand a new kind of cooperation, a new kind of courage, and a new kind of union. Thus, in 2159, the United Colonies were formed to make that journey possible. Just 1 year later, the Galileo, the first of many colony ships, touched down here on Jemison, beginning a new era of human history, the age of the United Colonies.
The effort and planning it must have taken to evacuate literally the entire planet. Can you imagine? The logistics alone must have been mind-boggling.
Registration accepted. You may now proceed through the historical displays in the orientation hall, or continue on to the examination.
In 2150, humanity learned the Earth's magnetosphere would collapse sometime in the next half-century, eliminating all life on the planet. Decisive action was required, but the secure transport of an entire civilization would demand a new kind of cooperation, a new kind of courage, and a new kind of union. Thus, in 2159, the United Colonies were formed to make that journey possible. Just 1 year later, the Galileo, the first of many colony ships, touched down here on Jemison, beginning a new era of human history, the age of the United Colonies.
I've probably got every display in this place memorized at this point.
From their foundation, the United Colonies strove to provide all their citizens with opportunity, security, and peace. But there were those among the UC that still wanted something more: independence. So in 2161, the UC issued the Centaurus Proclamation, granting UC citizens the right to settle distant worlds and form their own sovereign powers. It wasn't long before the first new faction, the Free Star Collective, was formally organized in 2188, later followed by House Varun, revealing themselves to the universe in 2230.
The result of the Centaurus Proclamation has always left me torn. So much conflict arose as a result. Was it worth it?
The Free Star Collective was initially founded in 2188, when the citizens of Aquila banded together with the pleasure city of Neon in mutual defense. But in 2194, after the deployment of a UC medical star station in orbit around their world, the citizens of Narion also requested to join the collective. The resulting rise in tensions between the Free Star Collective and UC culminated in the settled system's first intergalactic conflict, the Narion War. Despite a decisive victory by the UC, the colonies permitted the citizens of Narion to join the collective, forming the basis for the fiercely independent union that persists to this day. It was only in 2230 that the faction known as House Varun first made contact with the rest of the settled systems. Founded by the passengers of a colony ship that had left New Atlantis and disappeared 4 decades earlier, House Varun was a faction unlike any other. A theocracy dedicated wholly to the beliefs of its isolationist founder, Jinan Varun. House Varun initially made overtures of peace towards the rest of the settled systems. They claimed their only intention was to spread the word of their god, the Great Serpent. But none could have guessed that this worship might take the form of a bloody war, the Serpent's Crusade. Beginning in 2240, House Varun forces declared all-out war on the rest of human civilization, initiating the Serpent's Crusade. Over the next 23 years, thousands of Freestar, UC, and independent souls were killed by agents of House Varun in the name of their serpent god. It was only only with the death of their founder in 2263 and the succession of his heir Jarek that House Varun finally sued for peace. There remains, however, select members of House Varun who refuse to recognize the cessation of hostilities their leaders established. Even after House Varun's mysterious disappearance, these zealots remain a threat to all who encounter them. Their pacification, a goal of all space.
Oh, don't let me get in your way. I've seen all this plenty already.
Of the many conflicts between the galaxy's factions, none was more brutal than the recent colony war between the UC and the Freestar Collective. Set off by the unauthorized Freestar colonization of Vesta's Pride in 2308, a direct violation of the Nerion Treaty, the colony war spread quickly across the galaxy. Both sides deployed every tool at their disposal. Armadas of warships, mechanized combat platforms, or mechs, even bioengineered alien creatures, the infamous UC xenoweapons. It was only in 2311 at the Battle of Cheyenne that the scales finally tipped. The Freestar Collective, utilizing their civilian fleet as a human shield, successfully crippled the superior United Colonies Navy. After their shocking victory against the galaxy's greatest navy, the Freestar Collective offered terms of peace, which the colonies, out of an interest in staving off any further human costs, accepted. The galaxy has been rebuilding ever since.
The colony war was a horrible conflict that irreparably weakened the settled systems. There were times I felt that it would never end.
Few settled worlds were left untouched by the colony war. But nowhere could the viciousness of modern warfare be seen more clearly than on the Freestar planet of Nira. Initially occupied by invading United Colonies forces as a forward operating position, repeated attempts to take and retake the planet by collective forces led only to devastation. Swaths of the world were transformed into scorched husks, a nightmarish testament to the depths of human ingenuity and human cruelty. And today, Nira remains a continuing reminder to the horrors of unfettered war.
This thing's like an artist's rendition, right? No animal can be this ugly in real life.
All 4 of my last science papers have been on terramorphs.
In the midst of the colony war, a different kind of tragedy struck the UC city of Londinian. A newly constructed but critical supply center for the United Colonies war effort, Londinian found itself overrun by one of the galaxy's most mysterious predators, the Terramorph. A rare but pervasive threat to all human-settled worlds, Terramorphs swept over the city, seemingly out of nowhere, on a scale never before seen in recorded history. Valiant efforts by the UC military slowed the onslaught, but the creatures proved unstoppable. Ultimately, the decision was made to destroy the Londinian spaceport, sealing off the city, the outbreak, and its citizenry from the galaxy at large. The tragedy of Londinian is mourned by the UC to this day. After the devastation wrought by the colony war, the UC and the Freestar Collective came together to ratify a treaty that became known as the Armistice. Both sides agreed to a vast reduction in standing forces, and that xeno-weapons and mech warfare would be outlawed. All related research was sealed away, accessible only in cases of dire emergency. But the Collective had another demand, that the active commanders of the UC military stand trial for their actions. The United Colonies, in the interest of peace and galactic security, agreed. In 2311, 3 United Colonies senior officers were found guilty. Commander Henry Durant, General Indira Rastogi, and Fleet Admiral Francois Sanon, known better as Ve Victus. All were sentenced to death for their actions, bringing the colony war to a close and returning peace to the galaxy at long last.
I was a strong supporter of the armistice. All of the terrible things that both sides used against one another. It had to end.
Huh? It was into this new world that the Vanguard was born. An official branch of the UC Navy, the Vanguard is the United Colonies Volunteer Fleet, serving a myriad of security, logistical, and reconnaissance roles. And after a sufficient length of service, UC citizenship is guaranteed to every Vanguard member. Open to all captains, regardless of origin, the Vanguard is leading the charge to protect and support the citizens of the United Colonies, wherever in the galaxy they may be. No one is born a United Colonies citizen. Only through service to the UC can one hope to earn one's citizenship. But the UC prides itself on taking care of its people. Cost of living controls mean citizens pay less than their foreign counterparts for needs big and small. All citizens are issued a grant upon joining to get themselves on their feet. And only UC citizens have the opportunity to purchase property, getting the chance to live in one of the most beautiful cities in the settled systems. By joining the Vanguard today, you too can begin earning your place here, in the heart of galactic civilization, as a citizen of the United Colonies.
Dad wanted me to apply for the administration track at school, but
think now would be the right time.
I feel lost.
You're only as safe as your equipment out there. Welcome to Outland. We deal in only the finest, most reliable gear for whatever adventures may await you. All of our products come highly recommended by individuals who have devoted their lives to distant travel. And while I've never needed them myself, I stand by everything we offer. I've never left the planet, so no, I do not. Goodness, no, I just couldn't. You're out there millions of miles away from anything, and if something goes wrong, I can't stomach the thought. I prefer solid ground under my feet at all times. And preferably a hot, fresh coffee within reach. Can't get those in space either. I do. In this line of work, it's essential, don't you think? Not seeing people come back would not only suggest that they're not satisfied, but that whatever they purchased had failed, leaving them... Yes, by all means, have a look. Please do. I hope we have something that suits you. Get it? See you around.
Just passing through.
Can you imagine how many credits flow through this place? Figuratively, of
Listen,
course.
I have a lot on my plate right now, and you don't look like a new hire stumbling through their first day. Who exactly are you? Constellation? As in the elusive and mysterious constellation. Oh, wow. I used to read stories about you guys when I was a kid. Wow. Oh, this is perfect. Kismet, really. I have a business proposition for you that could help us both out. Very lucrative. You're a law and order type? Well, this is perfect. This job is literally serving justice. Gal Bank is the aggrieved party, and if you help me... Good. Great. Well, confession time. I might just be a little different. See, the world of credit analysis, dealing with deadbeats and reprobates is... What I need is a ringer. Someone that can collect some of our top delinquent offenders. What I need is... you. You work with me. Oh, I can tell you're eager. That's good. But we'll start small and work our way up to the worst offenders. If you haven't noticed, and I'm guessing you have, the settled systems is big. Someone gets seriously underwater, they skip the system. Sad truth is, we can't track everyone down, so credit analysis. Yes! So, we got a Galaxy-class con man. Turns out, surprise, it was a scam. And Dieter Maliki Jump's system. Now, he's holed up in a literal shack in the middle of nowhere. Can you believe it? The job is simple. And we don't want him dead. We don't want him hurt. Just close his account like an... you may need to lean on him, scare him. Nothing illegal, just talk to him. And don't listen to any sob stories he tells you. Any job I give you, I guarantee there's not some poor sick aunt that needs... These are scofflaws, scum, flagrantly violent. If he dies, then his assets go to probate, and we can get paid. So if he forces you into an it's you or him situation, it's A-okay for... But I cannot stress this enough. This is not the ideal outcome. We wanted him liquidated, we'd have put a tracker on him. Well, I mean, yes, we're not the only ones looking for him. And you don't dome up. I'll send over all the details. You find Dieter and bring his account current.
Decided to take...
I hate to end on this. If you cut a deal with Dieter, honestly, I have no way of knowing. But don't expect any more jobs from me. Best of luck. I believe in you. Good luck out there. I mean... Together we can really make a difference. Right, small home in the Olympus system, right? There's a balance on that property. Argos Extractors negotiated a very fine loan for you. There are weekly payments, but if you miss a payment, no big deal. It's a pay-as-you-go type of affair. But I think we'd all be happier if you dealt with the mortgage one way or the other. Certainly. So there are two ways to take care of a loan for good. One's easy. Just pay off the balance, then the house is yours, free and clear, and you are one very happy new homeowner. The other option, less ideal, is just walk away and we foreclose on the property. Absolutely. Take all the time you need.
It's a shame House Varun abandoned their embassy. I bet we could have learned a lot from one another.
For years, Allied Armaments has been the premier supplier of private firearms.
It's amazing to think that this tree predates New Atlantis. Can you imagine all the changes it's seen?
I'm sorry, I really can't afford to be distracted. I need to get to the bottom of this. Yes, concerned is an understatement. I work for the scientific division of MAST. I've been studying this tree for quite some time, and it appears to be exhibiting some worrying signs. Are you familiar with this particular specimen? Do you understand its importance?
I've passed by this particular tree many times, and honestly, I never gave it a second thought. Does it hold some sort of special significance?
Finally, somebody understands. Unless, wait, you're not mocking me, right? People. Look, I have a lot of work to do here. If you're just going to gawk, I'd ask that you move on. If you can actually assist me, however, I would appreciate it. I don't normally solicit help from random passersby, but it seems an exception is necessary. Well, thank you. That's unexpected. There's a series of biosensors I've placed in various locations around New Atlantis, all calibrated to gather pertinent information. They've been running for long enough that I think it's time to collect and analyze their findings. If you would bring them to me, that would save time.
I wonder if I'll miss New Atlantis when Tony and I leave. No, probably not. Oh, hi there. I'm doing great. How about you? Glad to hear it. Yeah, life is good, isn't it? I've been trying to save up enough money so that I can go explore the settled systems with my boyfriend. I think we're finally getting close.
We're taking a long trip on one of those Trident cruises soon?
Tony and I want to see what else is out there. I love my job, but there has to be more to life. What about you? Have you gone on any adventures? Whoa. I have no... I'll keep my eyes peeled for any artifacts, okay? Well, that depends. Are you a foodie? If that's the case, you have a lot of options here in New Atlantis. Dawn's Roost is probably the fanciest. They have great... But I'll be honest, I'm more of a chunks girl, and my boyfriend and I can't get enough of Terra Brew. Really? Well, I guess you're right. I really love my job, but... Really? That's so sweet. I really... Take care.
That your ship that landed not too long ago?
You got a little.
Closed. I guess I have to go to the
You don't need to wear your helmet on this.
So I dust the last spaceship. Then I realize my tank's sprung a leak. I'm stuck.
Only those on official United Colonies business can access the building.
Another day, another credit.
Ever wonder how the Crimson Fleet seems to be everywhere?
Hey, are you looking for eggs too? I've only found one so far, but I want to find more before anyone else does. So if you see some, can you tell me? Yeah, it was. Weird, right? Miss Seng over at UC Distribution bought the one I found, and she said she might buy more if I can find them. I could really use the credits. I wish I could go with you on your ship, but I'm not old enough.
They'll have our table ready soon.
Do you have a death wish or something?
I'm pleased to report that our stocks are currently being maintained at 90% or higher. I'm sure we have anything you might need. Welcome to UC Distribution. Now, before you say a word, I am required to inform you that formal complaints cannot be filed until the customer feedback system is back online. I have been told it'll be up and running in 2 weeks, but you know how these things are. I am sorry for any potential inconvenience. Also, if you're here about a corporate account, I've been assured that deliveries will be back on schedule soon. Who, Jordan? That kid's in here every other day with some random thing he found. Trying to get credits. Yeah, I took... Why, what is it? Oh, really? Well, you can have it back for what I paid for it, plus a little extra. Let's call it... I could, but I did pay for it. I'd like to recover my losses. You did say this was important after all. Honestly, it's probably worth way more than what we're talking about. Suit yourself. You mean besides providing a pleasant face for customers? It's all in the name. Never a dull moment. I know some people don't believe it, but we really do the best. Yes, of course. Please, take a look. You're always welcome back, if you don't mind a bit of a wait.
Is there a type of weapon combat tech people joke? Say those Varun zealots worship a snake. But let me tell you, it ain't a snake. It's some kind of celestial being. They call it the Great Serpent. Is it real? Hell if I know. But they think it is. And that makes them dangerous. UC Security, you're under arrest. I've got special orders. You're coming with me. Prepare for immediate transport to our vessel. I've been authorized to inform you that you're being transferred to the UC Vigilance. You'll find out more when you get there. Other than that, I'm not at liberty to divulge any additional information. We have orders to transport you and your vessel to your final destination, the UC Vigilance. Any deviation from those orders on your part will be considered an act of hostility and will be met with aggressive force. Smart decision. Stand by to be transferred.
All crew accounted for. We're ready to depart.
I'm telling you, the command...
Bulk items may require multiple levels of approval. Welcome to UC. I have been told. Also, if you're... Who? Jordan? That kid's in here. Why? What is it? That so? Must mean something to you if you came looking for it. Well, you can have it back for what I paid for it, plus a little extra. Pleasure doing business with you. Back to it then.
Heard that Ryujin Industries is hiring. I could use it. But no way is it worth living in Neon.
I really do need that additional data. Any luck tracking down those sensors? Recent scans of the tree have suggested that a significant portion of the interior, obviously some small percentage of its internal workings, is always liquid to allow for the transfer of nutrients and so forth. If it continues to increase, I'm concerned the entire tree may collapse. And I'm also worried. It's too soon to speculate. I'd very much like to see... I appreciate your confidence. The sooner I have... So you do. Wonderful. I'll just take these and we'll see what they have to tell us. All right, we'll just upload the data. Give it a moment. And just another moment. Oh, it is working, isn't it? Ah, there it is. Relief. Now, let's see. This is... Well, it's... Oh my. It's a good thing you brought the biosensors to me when you did. Well, there's good news and bad news. The good news is that my suspicions were correct. There is something wrong with the tree. I will report my findings to MAST immediately with no small amount of satisfaction. The phrase, "I told you so," may even be uttered more than once. Yes, it does feel good to be right, particularly when others have attempted to convince you otherwise. Repeatedly. The bad news, as it were, is that the internal composition of the tree is changing. In this particular case, the tree is now regularly emitting ultra-low frequency sound waves. They're nearly imperceptible now, but they're growing in strength. This is something we've never observed before. Depending on how large these waves grow, consequences for the city could be. I must consult with my colleagues in MAST at once. Thank you for your assistance. I hope these credits are...
The data from the biosensors speaks for itself.
Think you've got what it takes? To tackle the business world, fancy yourself a... Megacorp, Megastar. Then jump on over to Neon and apply it. Person at Ryujin Industries, the fastest rising corporation in all the settled systems.
I've flown across most of the settled systems in all manners of spacecraft, and yet I still get sick on the gnat.
Some stuff into my new apartment?
Oh, I've always liked that statue. It's beautiful, isn't it? I wonder what the artist was trying to represent.
Saw your ship come in. Nice ride.
Security scanners, chemical samples. United Colonies should listen to the chances.
By Vectera, by Vectera, by Vectera! I can't believe it! Is it you? Is it really, really you? Captain of the frontier, bane of the fleet, constellation's shining star of stars. Oh, you are definitely the brightest, biggest star in any constellation. There's no maybes about it. I have an eye for these things. Not that you're hard to see with that halo on your head. Although at first, I wasn't sure if it was just the glare. But now that I know it's you, what are the odds? And to think, I almost went for coffee instead. But I changed my routine for one day, and here you are. It's almost like it was meant to be. I know, right? And you can try to fight destiny. Although, if I'm being honest, I'd wager you either way. It's such an honor. Hey, do you mind if I follow you around? Do you need a sidekick? What am I saying? You're a hero, of course you do. Lead the way. Good point. I'll start working on it right away, as soon as I learn how to sew. Until then, maybe I can be a sidekick in training. Do you have an academy where fans can practice groveling at your feet? If not, I can start one. Oh, I should have known better. Obviously, someone of your stature doesn't need any help. I'll just continue to monitor your exploits from afar. But hopefully, not too far.
Need some work done? Anything I can help you with? Sure, have at it.
Hello.
Do you, Captain?
From what I'm seeing, this world has all the essential building blocks to support life. Maybe you can get that to point us to the nearest restaurant. Haha. Been a long time since I've been to Mars. Sol system doesn't get a lot of... Until later.
got to be something useful out here. Let's do it.
keep scanning. I'm sure there's something nearby. Is it really necessary for you to drag around all that gear?